Over the Rhine in downtown Cincinnati had an arsenal of redevelopment weapons when revitalization of those neighborhoods began about 15 years ago. Camp Washington had a bingo hall. But momentum is building, and on the Business Courier front page centerpiece this week, all signs point to Camp Washington, or the camp as residents and business owners call it. Camp Washington is tucked between the I-75 and the Queensgate rail yard. It's home to the American Sign Museum, the iconic Camp Washington chili, and a mix of industrial businesses that stand within walking distance from pockets of single-family homes. It's lost 90% of its residents over the past 100 years, but could be on the cusp of being Cincinnati's next neighborhood success story. That depends on a couple of projects: a major residential real estate development, and if the founders of Rheingeist win a bid to put an indoor medical marijuana farm at the old Conn's meat processing site. Joe Gorman is the CEO of the Camp Washington Community Board and a longtime resident and advocate of Camp Washington. He joins Business Courier publisher Jamie Smith in the studio. Joe and Jamie.
Thanks, Peg. Joe, thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
Now, Joe, you've been at this a long time. Did you ever think that you'd see the camp on the front page of the Business Courier and a story about economic development?
Absolutely. In 1983, I was living and working over the Rhine, and a small group of us got together and formed the Over the Rhine Chamber of Commerce, which was a very good a group that pushed development and also business activity. In Camp Washington, when I first started there 17 years ago as a community organizer, I did a SWOT analysis basically and determined that we have 150 companies in Camp Washington. How can we get our business district or business group and the community together to do good things? You can't have really economic development without folks having jobs. You can't have a good, safe business climate unless you have neighbors looking out for businesses when they're not there.
Right.
So we've got a pretty good symbiotic relationship with the community and the Business Association, which we formed 11 years ago. And that's been a very good piece for, And what's the combination of an old-time neighborhood with multi-generational homeowners and folks who've lived there and worked there for a long time, with the business climate that has always been pretty strong in Camp Washington, has been a good mix.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the two big projects that are kind of going to make it big: the residential development as well as the medical marijuana development. Talk a little bit about the importance of this.
The first one is the renovation of the Crosley building on Arlington. It's the iconic building you see when you come through I-74, I-75. It's pretty graffiti laden, a lot of broken windows right now. But Powell Crosley had a studio on the top floor through WOW Radio, and they used to have concerts up there and radio programs. So it would attract musicians into the city who would then go to King Records and record, that kind of thing. So the iconic radio building now is hopefully going to be turned into some residential housing. And Core Redevelopment has just bought the property behind the Crosley, so that's going to extend and expand the number of housing units that will be coming in. And it's also,
that helps the neighborhood portion.
And it's
of it
also right
about.
next to the American Sign Museum, which is a focal point of really a lot of excitement in Camp Washington. So the Crosley building is something that we've really been pushing for, encouraging the City Council and everyone to support it. So we will see how that flows out, but we're very excited about that. The other big project is the Rheingeist, a brewery and medical marijuana facility, hopefully on Spring Grove in the old Con site. I think the beer distribution is going to go fine. We're waiting now for the medical marijuana decision from the state to come down.
So. Yeah, well, that's great. I mean, to see what they've done, over the Rhine with the whole Rheingeist development, it's going to be great for you guys. Now, let's talk about perfect world, 10 years from now. What's Camp Washington look like?
I think what we'd love to see is new infill housing. We need, we've got some vacant lots, good potential, but we need some new housing to attract younger families and also working families. So we want to see more housing coming into camp. We want to see some of the old industrial sites taken down and redeveloped, and then growing artist community that we have there in camp. That's been pretty exciting to see.
That's great. Well, no, it's it's right in between so many great communities that it's got a lot going for it.
We are the gateway between Westwood and Clifton, the Pill Hill, close to North Side, and plus we have the hidden subway under Central Parkway, which we're trying to maybe help connect that someday down to
we'll
downtown.
keep following it, especially these two big development stories, and we'd love to have you back on as those things start to take shape.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks so much.